Today, we're focusing on the New Year's tradition. Why is it celebrated on January 1st? Turns out you can thank the Romans for that. Here's Matt Gregory in This Week in History.
Welcome back to This Week in History. Happy New Year! This is the one where Julius Caesar decides when the year starts. And we answer the question, why is January 1st the beginning of the new year? For that, we've got to go all the way back to the Roman Empire. Julius Caesar became dictator for life in the 40s. 40 BC. We're in a whole different time code now. As dictator for life, Caesar put in numerous reforms. Most were aimed at helping the Roman Empire and the Roman government to run more smoothly. So what needed to run more smoothly, you might ask? How about time? The Roman calendar was completely messed up. At the time, it followed a lunar calendar, you know, a moon calendar. And because of that, the Roman seasons didn't exactly line up. You had winter in July, spring and summer in November, and it changed from year to year. Not to mention, politicians would add days or even weeks to years just to lengthen their terms of office. Could you imagine that? What a loophole! How about a never-ending presidency? It's good to know that even in Roman times, political corruption was alive and well. So Julius Caesar sat down with an astronomer named Sosigenes. And Sosigenes suggested that Caesar and the Romans follow a solar calendar, you know, the sun, like the Egyptians had done centuries before. It was more accurate and easier to follow, quite frankly. In order to start a new calendar, the Romans had to pick a different month to start the year at, because up to that point, March was the beginning of the year. Beware the Ides of March. So in the year 47 BC, This Week in History, December 31st became the end of the year. And we opened up 46 BC on the new Julian calendar beginning on January 1st. Wait, but why January? Well, the common thought is that January is named after the Greek god Janus. Janus is the Greek god of new beginning. Janus has two faces, one that looks to the past and one that eyes the future. You know, like the change in years.
Newski's Farm in the western part of the state just welcomed a new and unique member to their family. Oh, it's a two-headed goat. He was born on Sunday. He's one of about 1,000 goats born on the farm this year, but the only one with two heads. The Newski family really wants to keep him as a pet, and they're hoping he will survive. There's a 50-50 chance he'll make it.
Janus is a deity of Roman mythology, the son of Apollo. According to some versions, Janus was born in the Thessalian region in Greece, but left for the region of Lazio, located in current Italy. There, he was welcomed by the mythical king Camese, with whom he divided the power. Janus edified several cities, and, according to some Roman myths, Janus welcomed the god Saturn after his banishment from Greece by the hands of Jupiter. Saturn would be the equivalent of the Titan Cronus of Greek mythology, and, as a form of gratitude for being welcomed, the old god began the golden era of mankind. During this period, men started to live in a world of extreme happiness and abundance. Cronus also blessed Janus, giving him the power to know the past and the future. Janus was the deity accountable for teaching men how to use boats, and also introduced them to coins. After the end of his life among the men, Janus became a deity. As a god, he would be the deity responsible for protecting doors and gates. This god was depicted with two faces and had a key in his hands. When he opens a door, the god unleashes a new cycle, and this can be a new cycle of harvest or the passage from childhood to adult life. He is also associated with the beginning and the end of wars. During the war between the Romans and the Sabines, the god stopped the Sabines from attacking the Roman armies, creating a source of boiling water, preventing the advance of the Sabines. The Romans eventually repaid their protection by building several temples in his honor. The main one was closed during peaceful periods, and only in times of war people could find it open. Since he was a god connected to transitions and new cycles, the Romans baptized the name of the first month of the year in honor of the god Janus. With that, January is the time when people try to accomplish their New Year's resolution and start a new cycle of prosperity with the blessing of the god Janus.
We cannot allow any other country to outcompete the United States in this powerful industry of the future. We are leading by so much in so many different industries of that type, and we just can't let that happen. The race to 5G is a race America must win, and it's a race, frankly, that our great companies are now involved in. We've given them the incentive they need. It's a race that we will win. To accelerate and incentivize these investments, my administration is focused on freeing up as much wireless spectrum as needed. We're going to free it up so they'll be able to get out there and get it done, and removing regulatory barriers to the build-out of networks. But we must not rest. The race is far from over. American companies must lead the world in cellular technology. 5G networks must be secure. They must be strong. They have to be guarded from the enemy. We do have enemies out there, and they will be. They must also cover every community, and they must be deployed as soon as possible.
We're ready.
Hell yeah. Been looking forward to this.
Modulating frequencies now.
It's time. Let's light it up.
Are you ready, Neville? Pre-check.
Check.
Check. Okay, Neville.
In T-minus 3, 2, 1. Ready to launch. Hit the button.
Here we go.
It's working. It's working.
Nationwide 5G is live.
Yeah. And we're just getting started.
Wait until they see what's next. Soon, my friend. Very soon.
On my count. 3, 2, 1.
Well, at one point, we suspected 7i might be the ground station for a secret space-based weapons program called GoldenEye, but... EMP. It would account for the MiGs and the satellites, and the blackout.
The Janus Group?
Electromagnetic pulse, a first-strike satellite weapon developed by the
Americans and Soviets during the Cold War.
So what do you know about Janus? Zilch. Zips. No one's ever seen him. But the man's connected up the gazoo. KGB, military.
The son went to work for the government whose betrayal caused the father to kill himself and his wife.
Hence, Janus.
Two-faced Roman god come to life. It wasn't God who gave me this face. In 42 seconds, the United Kingdom will re-enter the Stone Age.
A worldwide financial meltdown.
It was you setting the timers for 3 minutes instead of 6.
Am I supposed to feel sorry for you?
No. You're supposed to die for me.
has and I just mentioned one of the options. I mean, he could immediately, on his order, seize every single one of these machines around the country on his order. He could also order within the swing states, if he wanted to, he could take military capabilities and he could place them in those states and basically rerun an election in each of those states. I mean, it's not unprecedented. I mean, these people out there talking about martial law, it's like it's something that we've never done. Martial law has been instituted 64 times.
Following a disputed election and a tie vote, the U.S. Congress installs the most unpopular president in U.S. history as David Jefferson Adams becomes the 44th President of the United States. Shortly after the election, increased unrest, rioting, and a growing number of militias have given rise to ever-increasing domestic terrorism. In response, the president invokes the Homeland Security Act and declares martial law on the West Coast and other areas of the country. Though highly contested, a Supreme Court ruling sidesteps the electoral process, disqualifying popular presidential candidates from several states. Public outrage explodes when a sham election leads to incumbent David Adams accepting a second term in office. During the 57th Inauguration Day ceremonies, Washington, D.C. is struck by a low-yield nuclear weapon, killing David Adams and most of the U.S. Congress. The destruction of Washington, D.C. effectively breaks the chain of succession, sending the nation into chaos. In an emergency vote, the European Union deploys peacekeepers in the greater D.C. area to secure international interests. With separatist sentiment rising, California's governor declares home rule and secedes from the Union. Texas follows quickly and declares sovereignty, taking neighboring states with them and forming the Republic of Texas. Now, the once United States of America lie in ruin. The time for words has passed, and a second American Civil War now erupts as 7 factions wage war across the land. They battle one another to reclaim a nation, to restore peace, to rebuild this shattered union.
Basic principles of time travel in there. Vessel like your portal. Vessel can be just about anything, most likely a spacecraft.
Like a DeLorean.
No craft.
You know, I love that movie, the way they shot it. It's so, like futuristic, you know?
6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds. That is when the world will end.
calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
But a bright line in the sand, and we will protect you, that I can tell you, and we will say enough is enough.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. It's a point. I'm not joking.
Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains. Look, we need to reform the criminal justice to make sure black mothers feel confident when they send their son out on the street that he's going to be safe. We got to recognize that kid wearing the hoodie may very well be the next poet laureate and not a gangbanger. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. But if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
If we turn against each other based on divisions of race or religion,
Come on, try getting it out.
Ding, 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 bong. That's all, folks.
Are you there?
What are you doing with the rest of your life?
Catching up on some me time, find God.
My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. Bless his name. My soul, it loves Jesus. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yeah, my soul. My soul. Over in the midnight hour, my soul. He speaks to my soul. Tells me everything is gonna be all right. My soul. It loves Jesus. I'm so glad my soul loves Jesus. Bless his name.